right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you all day, every day. And you know what? I got a little bit, but a lot to say. It's February 17th. It's only 12 more days left in this month. And that's only because it's a leap year. The Super Bowl was an interesting game. And I'm trying to wait for my co-host to come on because I know they want to rub it in my face. Mainly Jerry. I know Jerry wants to rub it in my face about Pat Mahomes and all that. But we're going to talk about what happened in the Super Bowl. Definitely, what happened in the Super Bowl? We're also going to talk about the future of some of the coaches, what happened with one of the coaches, actually. We're going to talk about a little UFC, college basketball, as we're about a month away from beginning March Madness, and there's some stuff going on in college basketball that's like, is there really a clear-cut, dominant number one team? It's a lot to discuss there. Hopefully, my co-host did his homework. Both of them did their homework, like I asked them to, because this is going to be a conversation about that. And speaking of which, I see one has shown up, so let me bring him in real quick. He is none other than JT ATM Money. He's wearing, I think, a Cleveland Browns hat, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like it. Looks like the same one Deshaun Watson was wearing on the sideline. This is that the that's the postseason one, right? It's the postseason one?
Established 1946 or whatever it says here.
Oh, I couldn't tell. I thought it just had, the postseason of this year on it. But he takes it off, puts it back on, adjusts his headphones. He's ready to go. All right. So with that being the case, I'm going to open up, and I said I was going to wait for my co-host to come back on or to come on. Q is said he's going to come a little later. I appreciate that, Q. Love you, brother. But you were right. I was wrong. I haven't said nothing all week to you because I wanted to save it for the show. I wanted to be heartfelt. I wanted to be right on time.
Notice I didn't say anything
Pat
either.
Mahomes found a way to do it again. Or did Shanahan find a way to do it again? Oops, I did it again. I can't call no place when the chips on the table. Actually, I don't blame Shanahan so much, but
Come on, stop.
you're
You're gonna be a 49ers apologist? Are you
not
serious?
a 49er apologist.
It sounds like you were alluding to that. Come on,
Q,
man.
I know you. Q normally hits me up. Q didn't say nothing to me. I'm not being a 49er apologist. What I'm saying is, as I said, I was wrong. I was overtime wrong, but I was wrong. The thing about it is, they were dominating this game.
Key word.
I
Were.
I understand that. I mean, the game is over, so of course everything's going to be in the past. But they really dominated this game. If not for one major player mess up, this game isn't close. If not for one major coaching decision, the 49ers, I believe, win the game. But they did not. Pat Mahomes and company have come out as 3-time champions, first back-to-back champions since the Patriots of Tom Brady lore. I just can't listen. I'm not going to say what you said, Jerry. I'm not going to say you can't discount Pat Mahomes.
You can't.
Okay, I'm not saying that. You can say that. I'm not. What I'm going to say is this. All those people that are putting him in the GOAT category,
Use the GOAT.
I'm going to say he ain't no GOAT. He's a nag right now. He's a nag, which is a baby goat. Or he's a billy. Or he's a whatever they call little goats. Not fully mature. He ain't got no horns or nothing yet. And it's ludicrous to put him in that category just yet. The man is phenomenal. I will say that. But he had a lot of stinking help along the way.
Well, can I interject real quick?
Let me make this one last statement before you interject, because I'm going to turn it over to you. How do you go to 3 Super Bowls and not once have a holding call on your offense, but the other 3 teams, the offensive line, I should say.
Here we go.
But the other 3 teams combined
Here we go.
for 20 some odd holding penalties
Here we go.
on the offensive line, on the opposing offensive line. How do you
Here we go.
I'm going to say it this way. And I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming him at all. This is just an observation. This is an observation. This is not an attack on him, because he doesn't, throw the flags.
Stop.
He might complain about them, but he doesn't throw them.
Stop.
But how do you literally stay in a game
Stop it.
where
Stop
there's continual
Come on.
bad calls being made against the opposite team? That's how you stay in the game. But
Stop it.
we knew, wait a minute. We knew that the refereeing crew that was doing the Super Bowl has been,
here we go.
and this isn't just against the 49ers, although there's a strong history there. But this crew has been, or not crew, but the head ref, because there's a mixture of refs. But the head ref is notorious for throwing flags. I think he threw 3 or 4 of the 12 flags throughout the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now, that's kind of sort of the issue, but not the issue, because when you have somebody that throws a lot of flags in a game, it's to be expected. It didn't even out until like late in the 4th. But prior to that, it was a big disparity in flags. It was like 6-3, then it became 5-6, then it became 8-7 or something like that.
Oh God.
But there were plenty of times where a call was made that didn't need to be made, but then was made against the other team. I put my hands up.
Oh God.
But
Stop.
Like
Stop.
I said,
Stop it. You're driving me crazy, man.
Okay, drive yourself crazy. But like I said,
Come on, stop it.
like I said,
God.
the Kansas City Chiefs won the game We're going to break it down quarter by quarter.
Oh my God.
I'm going to let
Wow.
you say your little piece, and then we'll break it down quarter by quarter.
People, did you see me yawning? Did you see me looking at the heavens?
I wasn't paying attention to you because I was looking at the camera as you're supposed to.
I said people. I didn't say you. I said people. Did you see me yawning?
Okay.
And did you see me looking at the sky for God help them? Because
being disrespectful.
Disrespectful. It's just come on, people, come on. Enough of the excuses. Enough with the conspiracy theories. I'm hearing this every day with people bringing up conspiracy theories, and this guy over here is doing it the same thing.
No conspiracy, just observation.
Come on, stop. Now that's just let me put it this way, people. That's just an observation. That is short of saying that was conspiracy theory. I don't want to say conspiracy theory, so I'll say I'm just observing. Come on, man. Stop it. Okay, they played a football game. Okay. If come on, stop it.
Are you on repeat?
Stop it.
No one said it if.
They played a
No one didn't say
game.
if like that anyway.
It's like, oh, the refs. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like the same thing, and I said it in the chat. What happened when Brady and the New England Patriots were winning all those Super Bowls? Oh, the refs. It was conspiracy theory with the refs. Oh, the NFL wants them to win. Oh, everybody wants the Patriots to win in the league. That's why things are happening. Oh, if this guy hadn't fumbled, if it didn't happen to hit his foot and not able to pick up the ball on a key play, the 49ers would have run. Come on, man. Stop. That's just the way the game went. And if you don't like it, too bad, because the winner, it was the Kansas City Chiefs. The loser was the 49ers. And I'm going to say this because I've listened to the pundits all week going back and forth about Shanahan. Should he took the ball or gave it up in overtime? Okay. That can be debated. Okay. It can be debated one way or the other. It can be debated. To me, if I was in that situation, I would have taken the ball. I would have taken the ball. Okay.
What? Okay.
I would have taken the ball. Damn right. I would have taken the ball because I have confidence in my team. I would have taken the ball. Okay. And then put the pressure back on the other team to match me or take a step above. No
we
problem.
Know what happened when that happened, right? We already know how your scenario works out.
Let me
we already know how that worked out.
Let me just say this. Didn't you just say, well, we knew what happened after the thought, so you bring it up now? You don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea what's going to happen. But now,
you just said if. But you said don't say anything about ifs.
Yeah.
Talk about what did then.
Well, I am talking about what did. He took the ball. I would have taken the ball. I would have taken the ball and had confidence in my team because they were moving the football. Plain and simple.
That's not why he took the ball, but go ahead.
I'm giving you my reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're right.
I would have taken the ball. No problem. I mean, the pundits, like I said, are going back and forth. Oh, you don't take, because now the team that gets the ball second because of that. And let me get to this first, but then I'll get to something that it ties it in. They get the ball first. Now you're in 3-down territory. You're not going to go 4 down because you don't want to take that chance because you want to be able to score, at least get a field goal. You put now the counter thought on that, the team that gets the ball second. Now, whatever they get the 4th down, it's 4th down territory. They're going to go for it. I'd rather put the team in pressure, 4th down, when I know I have a good defense, when I have one of the best defenses in the league, and the ball team gets second, okay, no problem. Nobody's perfect. Nobody calls a perfect game. These are not machines. These are human beings. They make choices, and they live with their choices. And the fact is this: This is just typical of what happened several years ago with the Patriots. That's what I'm saying. They're not machines. These people aren't machines. They make decisions, and you live with the decisions, whether it's positive, negative. People can go back and revisit his history and see, okay, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done. Okay. You don't know that until after the fact. Don't know that until after the fact. After the fact, then everybody wants to shoot them apart because they didn't win the game, because Kyle Shanahan took the ball first, because a fumble here or a touch ball on a punt here or whatever. Or the calls didn't even out. Come on, man, stop.
Well, let's break it down.
Every team.
Let's go by the quarter real quick. Because your point is valid, so on and so forth. Let's break it down quarter by quarter right now. First quarter, first drive, right? San Fran's driving down, dominating that defense, just make them look bad. And they get inside the 20, I believe, and Christian McCaffrey fumbles the ball, which is uncommon for Christian McCaffrey, but a big play and a good play. Kansas City gets the ball. I think it was a 13-yard line. They take it downfield. And then Isaiah Pacheco fumbles it right back, roughly inside the 20 as well. We get I believe it was 0-0? Or no, because San Fran ended up getting 3 points. Or no, the touchdown. They ended up getting the touchdown in the first quarter. No, they get a field goal in the first quarter and a touchdown in the second quarter. But outside of that, you had said this was going to be a very defensive game. And in the first quarter, that's exactly, for most of the game, but for the first quarter, that's what it was like. A very big defensive struggle. After both teams moved the ball down the field, it wasn't a lot of resistance on both defenses until after their first drives. What did you see happening in that first quarter that either you liked and or made you say, oh, this is going to be a different type of game?
The first quarter, in my opinion, reflected the first half. Okay? Or the first half reflected the first quarter, whatever way you want to say it. And it was a tale of two halves, basically. Tale of two halves. San Francisco dominated the first half, including the first quarter. And Kansas City pretty much, it was different going into the second half of the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's stick to the first quarter.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Second quarter was totally different because that's when the most points were scored. But go ahead.
Well, no, the most points were scored in the second half. But
per quarter, because I was getting to the bet.
Oh, fourth quarter.
No, the second quarter is where the most total points were scored in the game. There was 14 or 13 points or something like that scored in the second quarter. The rest of the points came like 7 here, 3 here, so on and so forth. Per quarter is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, two high end defenses going against the offenses. That basically what I'm thinking that. Okay, they Kansas City, in my understanding, was averaging about 17 to 20 points a game. In my understanding, and they were going against a team that their opponents average about 17 points a game. That's 17 and a half points, something like that, a game. Okay, and so my understanding was that these two offenses were going to struggle because the two defenses were the better part of their team for the most part. And I didn't see the decided edge in this game of who was going to dominate or who was going to make the most mistakes and capitalize on those mistakes. So
the first quarter
is a feel out process.
Okay.
First quarter, in my opinion, was a feel out process to see. It's like a probe, just like in military, you probe your opponent and see what maybe the strength and what the weakness is, so you can make changes and then go from there. Well, this is exactly the same thing. They were probing to see what worked and what didn't work, and there was a lot of wasn't a lot. Even though they were moving the ball up and down the field, it's a difference between moving the ball up and down the field and moving the ball in scoring territory. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what was happening. They were moving the ball up and down the field, but they weren't getting solid scoring opportunities. So, and that was both teams. I mean, the 49ers, in my opinion, were better in the first quarter. On the defensive side of the ball, they were better in the first quarter on the offensive side of the ball, but they weren't putting up points, and that was a problem. You got to put points up against the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. That was a problem.
So the first quarter ends 0-0. They switch over in the middle of in the middle of the 49ers drive. And I think it was 3rd and whatever it was. And San Francisco kicks a field goal by Moody, gets on the board 3-0. There seems to be some type of dysfunction going on Kansas City side, because why? Travis Kelce. Now I get it. You're heated. You're excited. He literally bum rushes Andy Reid and almost runs him over because he's excited. And he admitted on he and his brother's podcast that he crossed the line. He should never ran up on Andy Reid like that and made contact and things of that nature, especially the way he did it. But Kansas City gets stopped again because Travis Kelce had not had a pass. He had one pass his way the entire first half.
And you know why he ran up on Andy Reid? The reason why he ran up on Andy Reid, he wasn't in on the play that Pacheco fumbled.
Yes, that he fumbled the ball. Yes. Mm-hmm. But all this is leading up in the second quarter where San Fran kicks field goal to start it. They stop Kansas City on the following drive where Kelce still didn't have the ball. And they were trying to pass the ball around. It wasn't working. They were having a punt. San Fran comes back down, drives the ball down the field, does a trick play to get in the end zone. Juwan Jennings gets the ball from Purdy. Purdy then scurries out the way. Offensive linemen move over there towards, if you're looking at it on your TV, to the top of your TV where Christian McCaffrey is, and he throws back across field to Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey then goes across and takes it in the end zone. McDuffie was close to tipping it or making an interception. He misses it. McCaffrey goes in the end zone. It's now, I believe, 9-0 because the extra point was missed. That was a key point. That played a big role in what.
You're wrong.
That's not when the missed extra point happened?
The next touchdown
was the missed extra point.
The next touchdown that San Francisco scored, it should have been 17-3, if I'm not mistaken, and it was missed extra point, which was
okay. So the missed extra point happened in the second half. Okay, yeah. Well, let's stick to the second quarter. Cool, thank you. So it's 10-0, and a little bit of time left for Mahomes to do a little something, and they take it downfield, can't get in the end zone, so they settle for 3. It's now 10-3 going into halftime. Low scoring game, but San Francisco's offense is playing well. The defense is playing well. Chase Young, I believe he got a sack in the first quarter.
Yep.
And he got pressure and things of that nature in the third quarter. I'm trying to think of when Greenlaw went down. I think Greenlaw went down in the third quarter. So I'll save that part for when we get to the third quarter. But it seemed like, and it was, San Fran was dominating all phases of the game. Offense, defense, and pinning them back on special teams, making the field longer for Kansas City. Very good drives, very well executed game plan on both sides. And Kansas City has to go in a little dejected, a lot upset. But as you and others would say, you never count out Patrick Mahomes. And we'll pick up after we talk about the Super Bowl halftime. But go ahead and talk about the second quarter.
Well, it was more of the same. I mean, they pretty much, like I said, that the first and second quarter was San Francisco. You could see it. I mean, they seemed like the most hungrier team and the most energetic team. I would say that most energetic team. And they, in my opinion, they were ripe for the taking in the first half. In my opinion, they lost this game, San Francisco, in the first half. Not the second half, not in overtime, even though that's what happened. They lost in the second half. The opportunities that they had didn't cash in on, and kept it within a one-score game. That was a problem. That was a problem. You had just a one-score game, and that's, I mean, you got one of the best offensive minds in Andy Reid, and one of the, if not the best, in my opinion, the best by far quarterback playing presently in the league, and you give them only a one-score lead, going on one-score trailing in the first half. That's a problem. If you had scored 2 touchdowns or anything else other than 10 points, that would have been a problem. That would have been a hill too high to climb. But against that defense, and Steve Wilkes maybe still would have had a job, but it didn't happen that way. I thought San Francisco dominated the first half.
Okay,
plain and simple. I thought they dominated the first half, hands down, and I thought this is going to be a problem if they continue this after the halftime show, 30 minutes, which is normally 15 minutes or whatever. This is going to be a problem. But halftime adjustments.
So let's talk about that now. Usher comes out. What did you think about the halftime show, by the way?
I really didn't watch much of it, to tell you the truth. That's how much interest I had in it. I really didn't watch much of it. I watched some of it. I watched bits and pieces of it. But
I know it's not the OJs and it's not the Shy Lights.
Let me put it this way. If it was old school, I would have been on it.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, it's old school. It's old school to some of us because it's around the same time as Dre. Well, you probably watched the Dre one a year or so ago.
Wasn't older school. Let me put it that way. It wasn't older school.
You're not gonna see the Shy Lights or the Temptations, bro.
I understand.
I
understand that. I understand that. I mean, okay, I know it's Usher, and Usher is to some people old school, okay, but I'm not a big Usher fan.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Wait a minute. Can I finish?
No, you said you didn't watch it, so there's no need to talk about it.
I did say I watched bits and pieces of it. So
okay, I'm going to talk about all of it, not bits and pieces. So we're going to move away from that because your bits and pieces won't make any sense when I'm talking about the overall experience. So let's just move away from it. Let's go to the second half.
I
So Pat Mahomes and Kansas City gets the ball back. And on the very first play of the second half, what happens? Pat throws an interception.
Mhm.
And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, it's over. All they got to do is get a touchdown or something, and it's over. Well, the interception is thrown. San Francisco does not cash in. There was a flag that moved them back because they picked up a first down. The flag brought it back. The George Kittle catch, which was like one of the 2 targets he got, which would have gotten the first down, was brought back for a bogus, because both teams were blocking the same way for their quarterbacks. There were times where you could see Parker, the most penalized player, not even lineman,
Stop crying.
player in the NFL.
Stop crying.
Excuse me.
Stop crying. Stop
When
crying.
though you could see him with his arm extended holding Bosa and Young, no flag. But you have the right tackle of San Fran doing the same thing, and to Chris Jones, and that first down's brought back. And I'm like, y'all didn't see Parker do it all first half? He was just holding like a mofo. But I digress.
Yeah.
So that happens. It gets called back, and San Fran has to punt the ball. They get it to Pat. Patrick then begins to do Patrick magic. They start to move the ball. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they tied it up. They tied it up 10-10 after this drive with that. No. Take that back. Because it was after the fumble or the muffed punt that they scored. So they got a field goal. They got a long field goal because both kickers made Super Bowl history. In the first half, Moody kicked the longest. In the second half, Buckner ended up kicking the now longest. So it's 6-10, and things aren't happening. San Fran gets a touchdown. Then we miss the field goal, the extra point. So we're in a quandary here. Too much time and not enough. Because Greenlaw injures himself. I think he tears his ACL on the sideline.
No, it's Achilles.
Achilles. Yeah, thank you. His Achilles as he's about to come on the field, which was a major turning point in the game. Why? Because Greenlaw was covering the backs, the tight ends, and because Kelsey was pretty much shut down at the time. Kelsey was shut down. But as soon as Greenlaw got out the game, guess who got a whole bunch of targets? Travis Kelsey.
Breaks of the game.
Yeah. Soon as he got in, as soon as those replacements got in, Pat was taking them apart because that's the guy that normally is open, but he wasn't, and Greenlaw had him locked down. Big difference. But that's where we get to this muffed punt, which was horrendous. Change the game. But go ahead, JT. Third quarter.
Halftime adjustments. Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. This is what we're going to do against this defense. And you can see the tide turning, and that Mahomes and company was making it, pretty much having their way, and being able to move the football. And that's why I said in the first half that San Francisco didn't put up enough points. They just when the points were to be made, they did not do it enough, and that was an issue. That was an issue. I mean,
Got a question for you before you do that.
yeah.
What's up, House? Hey, House, I hope that you're feeling better and out of the hospital. Love you, brother. Do you think it was the game plan that changed or the fact that Greenlaw going down?
Game plan. I absolutely think the game plan. Halftime adjustments. It's not 15 minutes or whatever halftime is. Normally 15 minutes. You got a half an hour, 45 minutes before you back on the field to make adjustments, and you can see what could work and what couldn't. You got Steve Spag, who got an extension, defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Andy Reid and Mike Nagy, offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Pat Mahomes, saying this is how we're going to attack them on the defense, and this is how we're going to attack them on the offense. That was a difference. You can see that was the difference.
But do you think, well, again, you already said no, but do you think that same attack would have been effective if Greenlaw's in there and not two backups? Because they ran the same plays. They literally they ran the same plays. That's what Pat said. So the adjustments weren't some big adjustments. They said they ran the same play.
Let me tell you something. They didn't run the
all
same.
I'm saying is it's because the guy that covered him wasn't there anymore.
Let me tell you something. They didn't run the same plays. They ran a different plays. They ran the same scoring plays. That's what the deal was. They ran the same scoring plays. If you look, because I saw this, and if you look, the scoring plays, including the game winner, were the same plays they ran against the Philadelphia Eagles last year.
I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is the same offensive game plan that they started in the game with were the same plays they were running in the second half. Because I don't know if you broke it down or how you looked at the game, but I was listening. I mean, I looked at the game, and then when I was listening to what's my man from the Patriots long time, Charlie Weiss, he pointed out that they ran the same type of plays just from a different formation.
Yep.
And attacked the replacements for Greenlaw. And I knew they attacked the replacement for Greenlaw.
Oh,
I knew that.
Hey.
I saw that because they said, even during the broadcast, they said the exact same thing.
Okay.
That the person getting the ball the most is Travis Kelce, and it's on these guys that replaced Greenlaw. So it's not like, it was some magic Andy Reid change. It was the fact that maybe the formations confused the new guys. I don't know, but that's what was reported. And after looking at it a second time, yeah, it was the same concepts were there, exact same concepts.
Well, let me go back to this. Let me go to this. The New England Patriots, and I'm going back there. The New England Patriots and every other team is going to exploit your weakness.
Huh.
And that's what, when players have gotten hurt in important games with the New England Patriots, the Patriots attack, and they heard this before, the Patriots attack the replacements. So, okay, that's part of football. Okay.
No. I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm saying they didn't make massive adjustments because Greenlaw had played the first series where they only got 3 points and Kelce still didn't have a pass. And on that second series coming out, that's when they started attacking the replacements. It wasn't a major shift in philosophy or gameplay is what I'm saying.
No, because the fact is, Travis Kelce is still regarded as one of the top tight ends. So even though he didn't get, he only got X amount of targets or receptions in the first half. They were going to go to their strong suit. You don't go away from your strong suit. You attack. And Pat favorite target is Travis Kelce. So okay, he didn't get any crazy amount of targets or receptions in the first half, but we're playing from behind. We're going to go with what we got that got us here, and that's Mahomes to Kelce for the majority of the game. So you would expect that Mahomes was going to Kelce in the second half because he got, I wouldn't say shut down, but his touches and targets were limited.
He got shut down, bro. Never mind. Go ahead. He got shut down.
Well, let me put it this way. You can say he got shut down. I'm not saying he got shut down. I think they pretty much were going with the game flow. Let me put it that way. Not they were going with the game flow. He only got one target. So they weren't throwing to Travis Kelce in the first half.
Yeah, but they threw to everybody else. So you're telling me he threw to everybody else but Travis, and you think that was the game flow?
What happened was this, and what happened was this. I expected the not too popular characters to get involved in this game because everybody in God's name knew whose favorite target was with Pat Mahomes. Okay. So he's going to get an extra amount of coverage. And that's exactly what happened. He got an extra amount of coverage. He only got.
They didn't double team that man.
Wait a minute. I said he got extra amount of coverage. That's all. I didn't say.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what extra amount of coverage is.
Well, he got. Let me put it this way: he got coverage. He got coverage to over. I would say an overabundance of coverage. They made sure that he wasn't going to get targeted enough. So if Pat Mahomes
played man, San Fran played man most of that game, dude.
Okay.
So that wasn't no double coverage of anything. Well, he wasn't double covered.
Well, let me put it this way. From the first, the only difference you tell me is with Greenlaw. Okay. You tell me that Greenlaw is the biggest difference. Like Travis Kelce only got one target in the first half, and he got multiple targets in the second half. And wait a minute. Let me finish. And the defensive coordinator didn't make an adjustment to put extra coverage because the fact is Travis Kelce was taking advantage of it. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
So to answer your question, yes about Greenlaw, and the second part, that's when they started playing more zone, and that's when he was finding the pocket because he figured out, like you said, they were going to target Kelce now, and they knew that these replacements were not going to lock him up like Greenlaw was doing, so they played more zone. And if you notice in the game, they were playing it was more than a cover three, but those linebackers were sinking. And Pat was throwing the underneath to Travis because he was just sitting there in the zone. Before, they weren't doing that. But that's what it is. Let me bring in Q real quick because he's finally home off the road. What's up, Q?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's up, fella? What's up, Jerry? What's up, Vic?
How you doing?
Ain't nothing, brother. Ain't nothing.
I'm sorry I'm late. I was at the bank counting my Super Bowl winnings. My bad.
Okay. I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
Okay, you know what? You need to count some this way because I ain't been able to count in a good month. But and I could have been counting somebody not been busy, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Hey, anyway. I was a little.
It was a little. Oh, okay. He was on that Jerry juice. That Jerry juice. So we're talking about the third quarter, and my contention is Kelce got, and it was reported until that Kelce started getting more and more targets after Greenlaw hurt himself, and they put those two replacements on him. And Jerry's contention is that it was the game plan that changed. So I want to get your opinion on it before we all go to the fourth quarter. What did you see in the third quarter, and just the third quarter, that was one of the big momentum switches?
What I saw in the third quarter is Steve Spagnuolo making adjustments like he's done all year long, and the Chiefs getting better in the second half on defense, just like they've been doing every game this year.
But nothing on offense.
The offense, you know, it's the same offense that they run all year, but you just don't count out Patrick Mahomes. So I really wasn't worried. As long as they never went down more than 2 touchdowns,
Right.
I wasn't worried. I thought they had a great chance the whole game, as long as they didn't go down more than 14 points.
That's exactly my point.
The third quarter, though, is what we're talking about.
I know. I'm talking about the third quarter. I wasn't worried.
No, what I'm saying is, what did you see in the third quarter that shifted the momentum? Because it was 16.
What I saw on offenses was Patrick Mahomes started taking things into his own hands more. He started scrambling more. He started running more, you know, and he started throwing to Kelsey more.
And okay, true. But that's all you got. Nothing about Greenlaw, nothing about the muff punt or anything like that.
I mean, I have nothing to say about the losing team.
I love you, man,
Oh
for
my
that one. That
God.
was a good one. That was good.
You are such
was
a
good.
hater, boy.
That was good. Hey, Q, let me tell you. Let me say this. Beginning of this show, this host decided that he wanted to talk about the disparity in the calling of the refs. That's what he started with. This disparity of the.
That's not
calling
what I
of the
started
refs.
with, but you weren't here. But it's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's
I
not
listened
how
to the whole show. I've been listening to the whole show.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
He
yeah,
doesn't know. He didn't see your comment.
I heard. And you know what he sounds like? He sounds just like making excuses when people
Yes.
lose. All they do is
No one
make
was making
excuses.
Exactly what I'm
No
saying.
one was making excuses.
Conspiracy theorists.
Exactly.
Come on, stop.
Anyway, we're talking about the third quarter. Since Q has nothing to say about the third quarter, fourth quarter, it became an all-out war, very defensive. Both teams decided to buckle up. San Fran took the lead 19-16 after, as I said, the muff punt, which gave them that first touchdown and a short field. There was a busting coverage, whereas was it McCole Hartman? No, McCole Hartman was the overtime.
Marquez
Marcus Valdez-Scantling just finds a big open space because the safety doesn't come down and that replacement linebacker doesn't drop deep enough, and Pat just drops the ball in the perfect spot to MVS, and they score. So, as I said, fourth quarter comes in. To me, I thought there were going to be no punts in that quarter, and it was going to be, hey, it's balls to the wall. Let's go for everything. Fourth down didn't take place. They played it safe. At the end of the fourth quarter, though, another Chiefs issue. Rashee Rice is wide open with 6 seconds left. They force the ball to Travis Kelce, who does not catch it because at this point, after being beat up so badly on the in the third quarter, Wilkes decides to put Fred Warner on Travis Kelce. And if you notice, things changed. Now, I would have called pass interference on that end zone pass because I thought Warner had his forearm extended and had a grip on Travis Kelce. However, it wasn't called. He batted the ball down. But upon seeing the replay and why Rashee Rice was so upset, and this is a rookie going at Pat at the Super Bowl, and then Pat is going back at him on the sideline. After that play, I don't think Rashee Rice got another pass, but I digress. They could have won the game in overtime had Pat saw it. But you know what happened was it was a low snap. Pat's eyes had to go down away from the parallel to the surface to being perpendicular to the surface and getting the ball. And he just went straight over to Travis Kelce. As I said, Warner had been covering him for the later part of the fourth quarter and into the overtime. Excuse me, I apologize, guys. And it's incomplete pass. What do you guys think about the fourth quarter and how that went down?
Go ahead, Q.
What I think about the fourth quarter is when the pressure was on, Brock Purdy was Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was AKA Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh, that's rough, bro.
That's not rough. It's not rough. You see how many throws he missed to wide open receivers? Just like Jimmy G.
He also
Do you
had
see
that pressure in his face, bro.
It doesn't matter. Well, you want to be in the MVP running, you need to step up.
Yep.
Right? But he didn't. Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy. You know, like, he's decent. He's a good quarterback. But come on, like, he's the same player. I don't know why people keep wanting him to be greater, because he was probably drafted last. That's why people want to elevate him so much. But he's just the reincarnation of Jimmy Garoppolo, bro. Same player. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo was not bad neither, you know? But when the pressure's on, when you need him to make that crucial throw, he can't do it. You know, like every time he was pressured on third down, and he needed a completion, he got happy feet and threw the ball away because they were coming right in his face. You know, sometimes you just got to stand in the pocket and take it. Take that hit.
You're right, because Spagnuolo didn't blitz as much in the first half, or he started blitzing in the third quarter, but it was after they got that muff punt turned to a touchdown. It was more. There
was no way that Steve Spagnuolo was going to let anybody else other than Brock Purdy beat him. He wasn't going to let Christian McCaffrey beat him. He wasn't going to let George Kittle beat him. He put all the pressure on Brock Purdy to make a play.
He did. And in the fourth quarter came down to tying the game up. JT, I take it you have nothing to say about the fourth quarter?
No.
All right. So here was a point of contention that I had. JT said he would have done exactly what Kyle Shanahan did. I disagree, but that's what JT said he would do. And later on, after the game and during the week, they said they didn't really understand the rule. But I listened to Spagnuolo talking to Charlie Weiss literally say he asked about the overtime rules during the week, and they practiced it. There's a big difference there, guys, in coaching. But in essence, the overtime rules in the playoffs in the NFL revert to college style of overtime. Outside of the ball being like on the 30-yard line, the time does not count. The time doesn't. You can play a full 15 minutes, which they did. They almost played another full 15 minutes. And whether you score or not, the other team gets the ball and they have opportunity to match.
And you know what?
The difference is it's better to defer or play defense first, because your offense now knows exactly what they have to do. They can we can either try to win this game on a field goal, or we're going to have to get a touchdown. Or
that's not true. That's not always necessarily true.
Well, what I mean by that is just like with the 49ers, they could have gone for it on fourth down instead of kicking a field goal. but they kicked the field goal and decided to play defense. Afterwards, right? The mistake, in my opinion, was, and I understand why it was made. So, is it a mistake? Yes, but was it done to preserve your defense? I also think it's yes. We got to think about it. The defense was just on the field, and Kansas City just marched down the field on a 8-9 play drive, beating them up. So if you play defense first, you're putting that same defense that was just out there for about a good 7 minutes or 6 minutes, whatever it was, getting beat up back on the field. So I can understand why you would, want the ball to begin the overtime. But conventional wisdom says play defense because, one, if you have to match to go to the next set of downs, or are you going to play to win because your defense stopped their offense? So you pretty much gave Kansas City the keys to the kingdom and said, "Hey,
that's
we're gonna kick a field goal. All you gotta do is get a touchdown."
That's revisionist history, man. I mean,
no, I'm just saying that's the strategy of it. That's the strategy of it.
I'm gonna ask. Okay, you have one opinion, I have another, and regardless of what he says, it's his opinion. Q, you're Kyle Shanahan. You're going into overtime. You won the coin toss. Are you taking the ball or are you deferring to Kansas City?
Let me tell you what I think is the real reason, and people aren't going to talk about it because they don't want to put it out in the air. The reason Kyle Shanahan, this is just my opinion. The reason I think Kyle Shanahan took the ball first because he didn't want to give the ball to Kansas City and have them score a touchdown and have to put that extra pressure on Brock Purdy to score a touchdown because he would rather take his chances and hoping to get lucky that they score a touchdown on the first drive.
Yeah.
But that's the honest reason I think he did it.
That's okay. But Jerry's asking you, what would you have done?
What would you have done?
If I had the best quarterback, I would have taken the ball. I would have taken the ball and drove down the field and tried to score a touchdown and let my defense try to win me the game at that point because defense wins championships.
Again, you said if you had the best quarterback, which we know Purdy was not the best quarterback. So You're saying you would have played defense first.
No. If Kansas City would have won the ball,
no. We're saying the coin toss went the way it went.
Yeah.
You're San Francisco. Are you playing defense first or are you playing offense first? And based upon what you said, because you had the better quarterback, which was on Kansas City's side, you would have rather played defense, which Kansas City did.
Right. But I'm telling you, I think if I would have been the head coach and I would have won that toss, I would have looked at my options just the way I'm telling you. And I think, honestly, maybe that's what happened to him, but he will never come out and say it.
Okay, but would you, as Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, I would. I would have taken the ball because I want to try to score.
That's exactly right.
So
and put the pressure on the other team.
Again.
I don't. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, if Kyle Shanahan was me, I don't think that Brock Purdy would have been able to handle the pressure of needing to score a touchdown, knowing that Patrick Mahomes scored a touchdown.
Right.
So I think that's why he did it, but I don't think he will ever come out and say it.
I know because the question is about you.
You heard him.
I know. I just told you. I would.
You would take the
okay. So that's fine. That to each his own. But the smarter and more strategic method.
This is the way him saying I'm right. You guys are wrong.
That's not my way. That's the strategy of it. When you look, what did I tell you before?
Yeah, the strategy. You gotta look at the players that you have on your team. That's your strategy.
Correct. So if your defense goes out there, right, and they play the way they did, Kansas City gets a touchdown. That means you have 4 downs every time you have the ball. Versus when you go out there and get the ball first, you have to either second guess yourself and say, like they did, and say, you know what? Do I want to kick this field goal, a 20-yard field goal, and then hope my defense stops him? Or do I gotta? I see what you're saying. He didn't want to put that pressure on Brock Purdy.
Maybe that's correct for a regular season game, but not in the playoffs.
Regular season playoffs are played way different than postseason playoffs. That's what I'm telling you.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Let me just say this. I would rather put the pressure on the second team to score, regardless of what they have to do. I'm taking my team and telling my team I got confidence in you. You go down and at least get you want to get a touchdown, but at least get some type of score and put the pressure on the other team. I have a very good defense. The pressure is now on the other team.
I think it cuts it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Q. Go ahead, Q.
To me, there's more pressure on the second team to match or score a touchdown than it is on the first team. That's my opinion.
I mean, again, it's your opinion.
I think if Kansas City would have won that coin toss, I think they would have took the ball.
No, they already said. No, Travis, you didn't hear Travis Kelce say they want the ball? Okay, we'll give him the ball. Give him the ball. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Yeah, but that's everybody being politically correct.
No. That was during the game. That's when he was mic'd up. He was mic'd up the entire game. And this is one of the things they caught on the mic when he found out that they wanted to take the ball.
That's an offensive football player's mentality.
No,
that's not the head coach. That's just a player.
I know, but
offensive
I'll put it this way.
Player's mentality.
I'll put it this way.
Give him the ball. Give him the ball.
When you look at how it's done, right? You too would follow what Kyle Shanahan said. Kyle Shanahan said he listened to his analytics folks and said he would take his chances with trying to win it with the third possession. So Kyle Shanahan, like you two, are conceding that they're going to give up the points.
No, I'm not.
That's what he said. When you listen to what Kyle Shanahan said, he said,
well, of course he's going to say that because he's not going to throw his quarterback under the bus, bro.
I
guarantee you. He thought what I'm telling you, but he's never going to come out and admit it. So of course he has to say something different.
Let's go off of what he said, not what we think he should have said. Let's go off of what he said. He said, based upon him talking to his analytics people early in the week, if it went to overtime, he would have rather taken his chances on the third possession, meaning we score, they score, or we don't score, they don't score, and then we get the ball again to try to score. That's conceding the fact that either A, we're not going to score, B, they're not going to score, or C, we're going to get this ball back. That's not the let me go out and win this game mentality. When you are in overtime with the rules the way they are, both teams get the ball. And the advantage goes to the team that gets it second because they know exactly what they have to do. Either I have to score a touchdown, I have to score a field goal, or I can punt the ball away. Because even after that first quarter, they go into another quarter and do the exact same thing.
This is so funny.
That's the way the rule is.
This is so funny. You know why it's so funny?
Why is it so funny?
Because I think it was last year they changed the rule.
Yes.
And wait a minute.
Year of the rule.
Wait a minute. They changed the rule because they saw the sad face of the Buffalo Bills quarterback not being able to get the football back and beat Pat Mahomes.
Actually, this is year two.
Okay, but the premise of it was they saw how dejected the Buffalo Bills was when in that the old overtime rule. So they said, okay, we're going to give everybody a chance
Yep.
have an equal chance to win the football game just because Pat Mahomes ripped your heart out. That's why. And
Well, no,
guess
I
what?
agree.
And guess what?
I agree. It backfired. It backfired.
Pat Mahomes in the new rule. Okay, you changed the rule. It was you changed the Pat Mahomes rule. Okay, I mean, made it the Pat Mahomes. It's the Pat Mahomes rule. Come on, stop.
That's the Pat Mahomes rule.
It's the Pat Mahomes rule. It changed it because
they call it the Josh Allen rule.
Because
but okay.
that to me, this is just like a participation trophy. Come on, okay, just like a participation trophy. We want everybody to have an equal chance, so we'll give you a participation trophy. You played, but this guy was much better than you, and we're going to give you a chance to have an equal chance. And guess what? Guess what? You see this? I wore this for a reason. I wore this for a reason. In order to beat the king, you got in order to be the king, you got to beat the king. I said it before. I said it before. And I'll say it again.
That's fine. We don't want to hear it anymore. The point was,
you don't want to hear it anymore. You didn't know what you were talking about.
It was a very good game.
Let me tell you.
I know what I'm talking about,
Jerry.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Let me tell you something, Jerry. Let me tell you something. From the few years that I've known Vic, I know that if he would have bet on Kansas City and he would have won, he wouldn't have been talking this way right now.
No.
You're trying to defend your whole why you went for the 49ers. Like, oh my God, you're like giving them so many excuses, bro. Like,
I'm not defending them. What I'm saying,
yes, you are. And deep down, come on, every coach is not going to be fully honest with the media, bro. So, there's no way that Kyle Shanahan is going to say that his quarterback is not good enough. So that's why he's coming up with the reasons he's coming up with for overtime, bro. But let me tell you, if Kyle Shanahan had Tom Brady on his team, you think that he would have gave the ball to the defense first?
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. He would have tried to score.
Yep.
No,
exactly.
Absolutely.
No.
Again, the strategy says you play.
What strategy? It can't be a strategy. It can't be a strategy. It can't be a strategy because nobody had done it before.
Yes, it is. Listen. It's the college rule. It is the college rule.
This is the NFL. We're not talking about
that. But the college rule for overtime.
Nobody had done it before.
Q.
How can it be a strategy? Tell me how is it a strategy if this is the first time that it's happened?
Let me ask you this.
Why.
Are you going to change the rule again?
They took the college overtime.
And Pat Mahomes beat it.
Okay. They took the college football framework and put it into the NFL. Only thing they changed, but basically they said, we're not starting at the opponent's 35. You're going to have the ball kicked off to you and go from there. Outside of that, wait a minute. You score a touchdown, we get a chance to score a touchdown. This is the same thing that goes in college football. The only difference is in college football, on the second possession, you have to go for two. In the NFL, it goes, you get a possession, I get a possession. If we both score, then you go into sudden death where the next score, I don't know what you're doing that for, but that's really disrespectful and I'm going to take you off camera for it because that's a terrible thing. That's the middle finger, dude. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? That's terrible. I would never do that to you on your show, bro. Let me move forward. Cause that right there, Jerry, that's wrong. That's wrong. Anyway, the rule is sudden death after you both get the opportunity to score, and you both, if you both score, the next team to score wins. So that's the match thing that Shanahan was talking about.
I think he did the wrong thing. I'm not telling you guys that you're wrong for saying you would do what he would do. I'm saying I think he did not do the right thing based upon the way the system is set up. It is a college rule that they transform into the professional football league. That's all I was saying. Now,
Okay.
go ahead.
I need you to explain to me, if this is the first time that it's happened in the NFL, how in the world is there a strategy? There is no strategy, bro. It's not, because it's not the same thing as college. Okay, it's not the same thing as college because you have a different strategy, because the chances are you're getting the ball at the 25. So the chances of your scoring are probably like 80% because you're starting at the 25. So you got to take all that away. There's no strategy in the NFL because it's the first time that it's happened.
I see listen, I understand where you're coming from with that. My point, saying that it's a strategy, is you have a blueprint from college to see how the rules work. The rules work the same way. You score a touchdown, I score a touchdown. You score a field goal, I can either score a field goal or a touchdown to win the game. But we both get the ball, right? We're just getting it from different. In college, you're getting it from 35. In the pros, you're kicking it off. That's why I said you have, how long has the overtime rules in college been the way they are? What, 4 years, 5 years, something like that? So you have a database to say the team that goes to defense first has a better chance of winning because of how the first team plays, because now you know what you have to do or what you can do. That team that gets the ball first, they're hoping their defense stops the offense. They're hoping they hold them to a field goal.
I think
that's what it is. Now I'm going to bring this man back in, and
I think deep down,
please don't do what you just did again. I'd appreciate it, Jerry. Please don't do that. That was very, very rude.
Jerry, you were on timeout.
He had to be, because that was terrible. And you know it was. But go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I got nothing to say.
No, I was talking to Q. Q started to say something. That's what I was talking to.
Okay, I got lost, but let me see. At the end of the day, bro, I honestly, deep down, I honestly believe that Kyle Shanahan would rather take his chances with Brock Purdy, hoping they score first. Because if Kansas City would have took the ball and if he would have gave the ball to Kansas City and they scored a touchdown, then all the pressure is on Brock Purdy to score a touchdown. And I really don't think he wanted to put him through that, because half of him, come on, bro. It's just
that's basically saying you have no faith in the quarterback.
Dude, he tried to go to Brock Purdy passing third quarter, fourth quarter. How did that work out for him? It didn't.
You're right. But
come on,
on that last drive, they did run CMC a lot.
Exactly, because it wasn't Brock Purdy, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
so the problem is they're never gonna say that. They're never gonna admit it. But you can't tell me these coaches don't lie about. They lie about all kind of stuff. Come on, they do whatever they need to do. They say whatever they need to say. Like, come on, look at him. That's why he ended up firing Steve Wilkes.
Well, that's
just
what
to cover his behind.
That's what I was about to get to.
Come on,
Steve Wilkes, and I've said this all season, but in the Super Bowl, I think Steve Wilkes called an excellent game. I think he did, and I believe he became the fall guy as to why they lost the Super Bowl. And this is when I go back and say that Shanahan made the wrong decision on kicking on getting that ball.
Well, I mean, he's catching a lot of flack for it now.
Huh?
Okay. I think he's catching a lot of flack for it now. I mean, I know he hears a noise, I guess he had. I guess, in my opinion, I guess he felt he had to get rid of somebody. Somebody had to,
other than himself.
Yeah, other than himself.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Wilkes all season, had he fired him during the season when they were getting blown out, like
they only
the
got
defense
blown
was
out
looking
in 3.
bad.
They only got really beaten 3 games.
Well, the
lost 3
game
games.
versus the game.
I mean,
versus Buffalo,
the guy before overtime, Kansas City had only scored less than 20 points. Like, what else do you want?
19 points.
Look, I agree. I'm saying over the season, had they fired Steve Wilkes then,
Well,
That's why I got no respect for coaches like that.
let me put it this
this is
way.
what I'm saying.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this.
Wait a
What
minute. Can I finish my thought, please?
Go ahead.
Steve Wilkes, in my opinion, he could have got fired after they lost to Baltimore. He could have got fired when they almost lost to the Rams. He could have got fired when they almost lost to Seattle, because the defense gave up buku points when they had the lead, right? But in the Super Bowl, he called one hell of a game until one of his main players got hurt. And he had to rely on 2 guys to play one person's position, and they were terrible. I'm not going to say terrible. It's hard covering Travis Kelce, point blank. Not too many people can do it, right?
Okay.
But
that's another excuse.
Wilkes,
Okay.
no, dude, nobody's making an excuse. What I'm saying is that Wilkes should not have been fired for that performance.
Let me just.
But he was.
I saw this stat of Steve Wilkes' defense, which was on the regular season, his defense allowed 17.5 points a game. Regular season, his defense allowed 17.5 points a game. In the playoffs, the defense averaged 25 points a game. Decided difference. But they had a graph with DeMeco Ryans the prior year, over the last 2 seasons, DeMeco Ryans, and Wilkes. Wilkes had the better stats. So, obviously, in my opinion, he was made the scapegoat.
Yeah, I agree. No one said that he wasn't. I'm saying that he called an excellent game. And for him to get fired after this game was a travesty, in my opinion. And just like Q said, Shanahan is not going to admit that he made the bad calls or the bad decisions. He's just going to say, well, Wilkes is not part of my tree. We don't run the same type of offense. I mean, the same type of defense that we do here. It's not a good fit. Wilkes did a lot of man-to-man, as I said, in a Super Bowl. He went back to zone, which he had to because of the player or the players that was replacing Greenlaw, because that's where they were attacking. They realized these guys can't stay with Kelce. They're not smart enough to undercut the ball or to do this, that, and the third. I shouldn't say smart enough. They're not talented enough to do the things that was going on. Now, I will also say this. Just before that, the overtime touchdown, your boy calls a timeout because he didn't like the defense that Wilkes was calling. They were going to blitz Pat Mahomes. And the last time they blitzed Pat Mahomes on a fourth down, Pat ran for like 21 yards and got the first down. So Shanahan was upset with that, told him to change the play, but he changed it to a play that caused friction. It was still a man concept, but they didn't blitz. And if you notice, that's how McCole Hartman got open in the end zone, because the defender, it was a rub route
pretty much. They call it corn dog, squeeze the corn dog or some shit, right? I mean, stuff. I'm sorry. Some stuff. And the guy covering
that was
Hartman,
uncalled for, Vic. That was uncalled for.
it's
That
on
was
my
you
show.
shouldn't
Be
have
quiet.
said, you shouldn't have said that. Come on, man. Come on.
I didn't hold it up to the camera, did I? Did I hold it up to the camera?
You,
No, I didn't.
you spoke it.
Now,
That's all right.
Again, it was
Same
a-
difference.
Same difference. Thank you, Q.
Y'all can be BFFs all day. I don't care. But it was a rub route. It was a rub route where the defender got picked, and McCole Hartman's just wide open in the end zone. So Wilkes is firing. I don't know. I don't think it was fair. But again, that's why Shanahan's the head coach, and he wasn't. I take it. You both don't agree that he should have been fired, or you agree he should have been
hell
fired?
no, he shouldn't.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Steve
Stop.
Wilkes, the last 3 years, Steve Wilkes has gotten the short end of the stick every time.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, let me put it this way.
We don't want to say the real reason, but yeah.
Yeah. No,
Not
no,
on this
no,
show.
no.
Maybe on tomorrow's show
No,
you can say that.
No. I can say it on either show. It don't make a difference. I'll say it on either show, but that's
Well,
not where I'm going.
Okay.
Now, let me just say this. All right. They say he got a raw deal in Arizona. They say he got a raw deal in Carolina. They say he got a raw deal in San Francisco. Eventually, you have to see why he's getting a raw deal. You understand what I'm saying? Eventually, you have to see once, maybe twice, 3 times. Why is he getting a raw deal 3 times in 3 seasons? Okay, is it a raw deal or is it a personality? And I'm just putting it out there. Is he got a toxic personality or what? Is it a raw deal or does he just have that type of personality that that warrants whatever is done to him?
Well, me myself personally, I think he's just not a company man.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's definitely not. He's definitely not.
Exactly. So that's one of the reasons why there's like so quick, because I mean you got to give it to him. The guy's a good coach, a hell of a coach, and everything. Okay, but he doesn't be like kissing butt to everybody that's above him, that's telling him what to do and stuff and everything. He wants to run the ship his way, and unfortunately, like people who have money don't like to be told no.
And I agree with that. But here's another thing I noticed. Wilkes started up in the booth this year calling defenses where he sees the entire field. After their first loss, I don't know if Kyle Shanahan told him to come to the sideline or not. I know through my own experience, I started out on the sideline and, then I went up into the booth and I saw the field totally different from the booth. But then my coach said, hey, I want you on the sideline so you can talk directly to the players, so on and so forth. So I came down from the booth. You see the game differently from those areas. I don't know if that was directed by Kyle or it was just something he decided to do. For me, in the booth, and I can see everything, I like that. I like that because that helps me decide what play I'm going to call. I see what type of defense I'm going against, so on and so forth. But, not being a company man, okay.
I'm going to pose this question to you. Okay. Sidelines versus up in the booth. What better interaction do you have with your players?
Well, again, it's always going to be on the sideline because you get to talk to them directly and you don't have to go through a system or a microphone or something like that.
Is that advantage or disadvantage?
It depends. It depends on how the flow of the game is going. If I want to hear from everybody and have everybody's opinion, I'll be on the sideline. But if I want to hear from my captain or if I want to hear from the middle linebacker who's calling the plays, that's all I care about. I'm going to hear from the head coach, and I'm going to be able to talk to the guy on the field calling the plays. Now, the guy on the field calling the plays can relay
Thank you.
issues going on, but he is the quarterback on defense, and he is the one that's going to end up making the calls, right? So for me, as an offensive coordinator, I'm talking to the quarterback, right? He's telling me, hey, let me call this, let me call that. I see this, I see that. I'm saying, okay, cool, not a problem. But when I'm on that sideline, I got the quarterback, the running back, the wide receivers, everybody in my ear, plus the head coach trying to give me their input. So it's a personal preference, in my opinion. For me, I like the booth because, as I said, I like to see the entire field from above or from the end zone. That way I can diagnose, okay, they're in a cover 4. Their A gap is wide open. We're going to run straight at them, whatever the case may be. It's a preference. My preference is the booth. But anyway, I know you got to bounce out of here, Q. If you got any teasers, let me know.
I don't, but I got a 3-team parlay. Just money line on college basketball tonight.
Send it my way, bro. Send it my way.
Purdue, money line. UConn, money line. Arizona, money line. Bam.
Hey.
You don't even have to go extra.
Okay.
Oh, okay. My brother. Well,
You guys-
I appreciate you. If you got a bounce, go
You
ahead.
guys in your
And you're what?
I can't hear you.
Neither can I.
you guys in your thumbs up.
Oh, he's making fun of our thumbs up.
When the thumb goes up, just like that.
At least it ain't the other finger.
That's just another part of the hand.
Yeah. It's time to move on to UFC. Well, college basketball, since you brought up college basketball, before you get out of here, who do you think are your top 4 seeds going into March Madness?
Purdue's number 1. UConn's number 2. I like Houston a lot. They're smacking Texas right now by 25.
Damn, I should have played it over. But go ahead.
And I like Arizona.
So those are your top 4 seeds going into March
Yeah.
Madness?
Yeah,
I got
mine.
UConn over Purdue as the top overall seed, but Purdue's pretty good. But I agree with all the things you just said. JT, did you do your homework or did you just say you don't care?
I didn't do my homework. I completely forgot about it. Been busy all week and wasn't able to do it. So it is what it is.
So I take it you didn't even think about UFC either, huh?
No. I never think about UFC.
I know nothing, zero about UFC.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't either.
It's
I
okay.
I couldn't even give an educated guess about UFC.
It's okay. It's okay. When I go to UFC and all that stuff, I'll just boot y'all off or something. So people will be able to go ahead and enjoy the UFC conversation. But
I gotta go, you guys. Good
All
talking
right.
to you, Jerry.
be safe.
Good seeing you, brother. Victor, good seeing you.
Take care, man.
brother.
All right.
Love you, man. Be good.
Remember, Victor, never bet against Patrick Mahomes, bro. You should have learned your lessons. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. I try to warn you. I try to warn
I
you.
thought you were
But
leaving.
nah, you
I
got to
thought
be
you were
hard-headed.
leaving, Q.
He's hard.
I thought you were leaving, Q.
Oh, wow, you just cut him right off. That's
You
all
got
right.
to be hard-headed.
See, he's still talking. He's still talking.
Wow.
I even warned you.
Q, I'm not bringing you back on. Bye.
I got 1 minute left, and I'm going to use it.
All right. Later, bro.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Anyway, with that being said, since you have nothing to add about UFC,
I couldn't
I'm gonna
give you an
talk for a
educated
hot
guess,
second.
man.
I'm going to talk for a hot second
Go ahead.
about UFC.
Have at
Oh,
it.
I didn't ask you about college. My bad. You said you didn't do your homework. Never mind. So there goes that. College basketball is heating up. It really, really is. And it's something that you probably should take note of, Jerry. It's It's hot and heavy. It's not. No jokes. No jokes are being had.
I barely watch basketball. I watched 3 games in professional basketball, and that's 3 games more than I watched in 5 years, and that's the God's honest truth. I've
Okay.
watched 3 games from start to finish, and there's 3 games that probably I watch. Those 3 games, you can't even count it on my hand. The amount of games I watched over the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years, whatever, compared to what I've watched this year. So that's the amount of games I watched in college. I don't college basketball, March Madness. I know it's a big thing with a lot of people. It's not with me. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, that just means I have to exclude you from some of the conversations. Will you be watching baseball?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Be watching baseball. I'm gonna definitely watch baseball this year. I've stepped away. As soon as I stopped playing fantasy baseball, I pretty much stepped away from watching baseball. But I think I'm going to get back into fantasy baseball, maybe one league or whatever.
I want in. I want in just to whoop your candy rooted poo self.
Well, the way I got into fantasy baseball is I went on and I'm not promoting this one, but I went on the Yahoo site and just joined a league. Just I
do that too. I do that too.
Just to try it out. And I did pretty well just trying it out. I just figured it out all along and got pretty good at it. Got bored with it and just found out that if I try to do if I try to do Major League Baseball and try to delve into fantasy football, it took away from fantasy football. So I decided to I had to either one or the other, and I decided to walk away from Major League Baseball in fantasy. So it is what it is. But Major League Baseball is basically the same, only names and faces have changed. And to do fantasy baseball, I may try it. I think I'm going to try it this year.
Just let me know so I can whoop up on you.
Why? Are you going to join the same league? I just joined.
That's what I just said.
I just
whoop up on you.
I just joined random leagues. I don't know what who's in it.
Well, let me know when you go to join so I can join that same league. All you do is just go in there. You can pick one from the listing, or you could just have them slate you in one. I take it you're just letting them slate you into one? As opposed to just you say, oh, there's 10 people here and it's a 12-team league. Let me pick.
Yeah. I just jump into a league.
That's what I'm saying. How do you do it?
Just a random league. It's random.
Do you allow Yahoo? Excuse me. Do you allow Yahoo to place you, or do you look at a listing and then select?
I looked at a listing and select.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
When you do that, let me know so I can jump in there with you.
Oh, I don't care. You jump in, you can jump in. If you don't, you don't.
What? Oh my gosh!
But you just want to compete, and you
want
to say,
I want to compete. What is wrong with competing?
Well, you can compete with anybody.
No, it's different when I compete against you.
Yeah, I know. You just got that superiority complex, but that's all right. No problem.
I do, but that wasn't why. But anyway,
okay. Yeah.
Let me talk real quick about UFC. I need you to stay on the line after this for a minute anyway. So for all my UFC fans, the big fight happening tonight on pay-per-view is the featherweight championship. Alexander Volkanovski, 26-3, takes on the undefeated up-and-coming young guy, Ilya Tuporo. Now, here's the big deal on this one. Tuporo has been calling Volkanovski an old man. His whole thing. Well, he's a vet. He is a vet.
That's calling him old.
Yeah, and he's young in the game, and he's 14-0.
vicious knockouts. Vicious knockouts. And Volkanovski has been his 3 losses. I believe one was decision, and the other 2 were by KO, or TKO. But this man is a wrestling machine and has power. And at what is it, welterweight or featherweight? Let me make sure I got it right. Featherweight, the man has power. The man has power. This has potential to be a slugfest. This young kid, he's like a young bull. I'm gonna go use a terminology that Jerry used to use a long time ago. He's the young bull running down the hill. And the old bull, which is Volkanovski, is the one sitting up there just taking all the cows. In fact, at the face-off, Volkanovski showed up in this old man's outfit with bifocals and a Kango, hunched over, walking with a old man sweater and some what type of shoes were those? They were the old man Velcro Skechers.
Oh boy.
So to me, it's going to be a good fight. I got Volkanovski because I think that old dog is going to show that new pup some tricks. So got that. Then the co-main event should be a good one. You've got Robert Whittaker, who is the former time middleweight champion, 25-7, going against Paulo Costa, 14-2. Now, Paulo was just like Tapora, just knocking dudes out left and right, just knocking them out left and right. Then he got stopped. Then he got injured. Then he lost again, and then he's won again. This is like a middleweight contenders. I'm not gonna say elimination, but Paulo Costa is that guy that Whittaker used to be. And Paulo should defeat Whittaker because Whittaker has dealt with a lot of injuries. They're considering him more so as a gatekeeper at this point in his career because he was making a resurgence, but then he lost and it wasn't a good loss. But this is going to be a good fight. It's the co-main event. Let's talk about some other ones that should be good fights. The main card should be a good main card, but I wanted to highlight those 2. In the preliminaries, let's talk about this heavyweight fight. Marcus Rogerio de Lima versus Junior Tafa. And then this Nakamura versus Vera. Listen to me, man. This card I want you to see me when I say this, Jerry. There should be a great deal of blood on the canvas before the main card starts. There's a lot of heavy hitters in the prelims. A lot of them. This heavyweight fight, Junior is a rather big guy, but he puts people to sleep. He puts them to sleep. He's 5-1, but he puts people to sleep. Marcus is 21-10-1, so he's an old vet. Obviously, the dog in this fight, it shouldn't go the full 3. It should not go the full 3. If it does, it'll be interesting. Now, this bantamweight fight. Are you familiar with bantamweights, Jerry?
What's that now?
Are you familiar with bantamweights?
What about him? The lightweights guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
This fight should be a fast-paced, non-stop action fight.
Okay.
These guys, even when they scramble, it should be a fight where you're going to try to catch your breath.
You might not catch your breath, but you're going to try to catch your breath. Should be a good fight. The women, Amanda Lemus and Mackenzie Dern. These women throw blows. They throw blows. Will they be more cautious? Probably, but they are some very, very skilled fighters. Very skilled fighters. I wish you were on here to talk with me about them, but you don't know anything about these people. And I was hoping you could take one fighter, I'd take another fighter, but in interest of time, I'm not going to go any further because you're not paying attention and there is no.
Hear every word you're saying.
I know, but you're looking at something else, so it's okay, not a problem. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, catch your UFC today. The prelims start, or the early.
Is it pay per view?
The prelims are going to start on ESPN Plus. All the fights are going to be on ESPN Plus until the main event. I mean, to the main card, which is going to be on ESPN.
It's because I don't think I've watched it. The ESPN Plus. You have to pay for that.
It's an app. Yes.
Okay.
It's an app. So if you have Disney Plus and Hulu and all that, it comes in a package.
Okay.
Where you can just stream ESPN Plus program, which means anything that ESPN is covering, you can find on ESPN Plus. So the horses, the soccer, cricket, UFC, hockey, it's all over there on ESPN Plus. But you can find it on that service.
You can? You can?
Yeah. All you got to do is go to the pay-per-views and they stream the prelims on those pay-per-views, or you can go to the ESPN one and there's an ESPN Plus tab and you can look at it that way.
Did not know that. Okay, that's good to know.
That's why you got to look at all the US sports tabs. I look at all of them.
Okay.
But anyway, with that being said, the next week, I'm going to start talking about baseball. Football news is there, but it's not as prevalent until we get ready for the draft. And the draft is happening late March. So.
And the draft is in April, isn't it?
I thought it was late March.
I thought it was in April.
Early April? Because the reason why I know that is because the UFL kicks off mid-March, and it happens just before the draft. The XFL and
let me see. The NFL draft is when is the NFL draft? NFL draft is April 25th to the 27th.
Whoa, they're doing it super late.
No, that's usually what it is. It's usually late.
I thought it was late March. But okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, too easy. Well,
we got
baseball.
We got
baseball, college basketball, and whatever else comes up.
The NFL Combine starts the 29th to the 29th. 29th is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Of February?
Yeah. 29th of February, that whole weekend. So that's
when we do the show for that weekend, which is not next weekend, weekend after next.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2 weeks, that's what the show will be about. But next week, unless there's some hot pressing NFL news, the focus is going to be college basketball and talk a little bit of baseball. I've seen the Yankees might be trying to do it again. They might be trying to do it again.
Yankees?
The Mets suck. So if you're a Mets supporter, I'll pray for you.
What about the freaking I don't even know the name of your Washington team. What's the Washington
Nationals?
Nationals? Oh, Nationals?
Nationals, not nationalists. Donald Trump. But we're in a rebuild mode. So
Oh, here we go.
no, we are because last year was the first year where they jettisoned all the big contracts.
Oh God.
They jettisoned all those big contracts.
It's always the big. You can't go to Florida Marlins route, man.
Well, that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
You can't go to Florida Marlins. Florida Marlins are famous for building a team up and then gutting
Winning
the
a
team.
championship and then totally dismantling it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a losing mentality right there. That's a losing mentality. You can't do that. And I we didn't talk baseball last year or the year before that or whatever. But I can't recall. I think it was last year or the year before. They got rid of Bryce Harper. I thought that was a huge mistake, but it is what it is.
But in a way, it was a good thing because we were able to bring in other players and we won a championship that year, the next year without them. And we beat Philly to make it to the championship that year.
Well, let me ask you this. You're in a rebuild mode.
Yeah.
You ain't got no Bryce Harper to lean on in a rebuild mode. You got whoever in a rebuild mode. So you're going to be what? The butt of the Major League Baseball National League East?
Yeah, pretty much. Again, like we were last year.
And then you're hoping that you'll get you'll march your way up to the top spot.
Well, I'll say this.
No guarantee that.
The Phillies spent all their money and they can't bring in too many big names, right? The Mets don't know when they're going to be good or bad, but they're a crapshoot. The Marlins, though, last year the Marlins looked really good, but they faltered because Alcantara, he wasn't their stud number one pitcher. Hey, stop. Their stud number one pitcher was not the stud number one pitcher, and that's where they fell off. Alcantara has to come back this year and play better. He has to. But to be honest, the best team and the biggest team right now is the daggone Dodgers. They got everybody. Mookie Betts, Ohtani. They just signed like 3 major big pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
So, no one's coming out of the NL except for the Dodgers. If another team comes out of the NL other than the Dodgers, it's going to be a big surprise. Big surprise. To me, anyway. To me. But we'll talk about it. Chris is going to talk about his Cubs. When he has time, we'll let him know. He'll come on board. But that's the business, y'all. Anything else you got to add?
Nope.
Okay. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Fancy Sports and Politics. I want to apologize for Mr. Taylor's egregious behavior to the camera, making sure that everybody can see it. But I understand. That's better. That is better than what you did. That is way better than what you did. At least I know what you're doing without you doing it. Okay? You really heated me on that, bro. Really. But anyway, tomorrow on For No Reason, I believe Mr. Taylor is going to be doing his mock draft, but I'll let him tell you what he's doing.
See, you don't pay attention. I did my mock
Oh, yeah,
draft.
we did last week. We did it last week. That's right.
I'm going to talk about
nothing.
I'm going to talk about players that are coming into the league and the players that are second-year players and what I think is going to happen with those players and where they may find a home, where they may find a home or they have a home. It's best. Let me put it this way. Second-year players. That's what I'm going to be talking about.
Okay. Not rookies, but second-year players.
Second-year players. Because I don't know exactly where rookie's going to wind up. And like I said before, it's really important where these new players that are coming into the league land, or how much of an opportunity they're going to have. whether it's on offense, defense. It doesn't make a difference. Key players in the coming into the league need to fall to the right position in order to get the most if you're going to play them or use them in fantasy.
Okay. And I got to retract a little bit. The USF or the UFL begins March 30th. That's probably why I thought that the draft was happening late March, because UFL starts March 30th. But the players that didn't get drafted or and this is one thing, we got about 10 minutes. I would think the UFL should start directly after the NFL draft, because there are a bunch of free agents that didn't get picked that could go to the UFL, play for those couple weeks, and then if they're any good, they have it on tape that could transition directly to the NFL. But the way it's set up now, the UFL starts before the draft. And players in the UFL cannot be drafted the following month because the season hasn't ended. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think too much of it. I think it's a B league with a bunch of B league players and players that could make it and shouldn't be in the NFL.
Well, you know, the NFL is adopting the kickoff rule from the UFL. They've adopted so many things from the UFL. You consider it a B league, but when they're doing so many things different than the NFL, that the NFL then picks up,
they have
are they really the B league?
They have to draw attention to themselves. They have to be they have to be able to just like, let me put it, and this is an analogy. All right. They had back in the day, way back in the day, they had the NFL and they had the AFL, which consisted of teams of Kansas City, San Diego, Denver Broncos, the Titans, and quite naturally the Jets, just to name a few teams. Those teams had to create some excitement in order to get audiences. Those teams did different things like in high-powered offenses, throwing the football to draw attention to their league so they would get viewership. I consider the UFL a B league because those are a lot of NFL rejects, guys that couldn't make it for whatever amount of time in the NFL or couldn't make the NFL and are playing in the UFL because they love of football and to make a little money. They have to do things to draw attention to their league to get viewership. That's how I see the UFL.
To call them, you know,
and if you don't
they're not rejects. They're not rejects. They're players, like Dwayne Johnson says. They're player 54, so to speak. Because Josh Gordon used to be a dog, right?
The key word is used to
I
be.
know, used to be. I know. But there are some that do transition well into the NFL and become superstars in the NFL. We'll talk about Antonio Pierce, who is the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, who was a not XFL, but a semi-pro player, Arena Football League player, I believe, before he joined the Washington Redskins at the time, and then went on to win a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. All I'm saying is there are some players that just get overlooked. They're not rejects. I believe a lot of players get overlooked. But with that being said, JT, before we get out of here, this show has been sponsored by
624coffeecompany.com. Hey, Zero, don't be a zero. 15% off military discount. Visit the website, verify status, stop drinking dirty water. You deserve great coffee at 624coffeecompany.com. Great coffee for great people.
All right. Yeah. I don't think we want to call them zeros. You did say, hey, zeros instead of
Yeah.
hey, heroes.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. But it is what it is. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, check out For No Reason tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. We'll be back here next week, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to give you what we got. Thank you.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Eric's going to get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about